But have you ever thought about flag production? Have you ever thought about flag design and looked at it really closely? I think it's really interesting how, nationalisms, protests, and lots of different forms utilize the flag and the banner, but in really, really direct ways. And I find the designs really fascinating. This is my studio space in Collins Barracks. I've been collecting flags over the last couple of months, and really what I call a binary cultural identity. So we're thinking about cultural identities that can be expressed in different ways. If you think back to what 1921 was, it's the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty. What that was a battle between two tribes. On one hand, you had a nationalist, Catholic, Republican identity, and on the other hand, you had a unionist, loyalist, Protestant identity. 100 years later, and where we are today, isn't it interesting to think about how cultural identities are formed today? They're no longer binary. It's a much more complex society that we live in, right? You have to think about all the things: class, ethnicity, sexuality, gender, and so many others. So it can be deeply personal in the way that we self-identify with our own countries, and that can differ from the status quo. So let's kind of turn to the real kind of business of the day, because what I'm going to ask you to do is begin to design your own flags. It's going to be hands-on. Yeah, no, I like the idea, the metaphor of the birds for flight. Mm. Are you drawing by hand? Beautiful, fantastic. Mm. If we know our own flag, the Irish flag, is a tricolour, how we might adapt or change that? Would we maintain the colours? Would you continue to keep green, white and gold? Or would you completely throw that out and make something completely new? Now, there's no rules about that, but that's your challenge. That's what you need to think about. So the nice thing about this project is that all your flag designs will be incorporated into my project, if you like. This is a collaborative project that's very public. By the time I finish this project, I envisage to have worked with probably more than 500 people.